Hi, everybody. This is Trish Keaton, CEO and founder of Healerverse. Happy Friday. Every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time US, we do a Healerverse Roundtable where we feature one of our amazing practitioners and showcase what they're working on so people can learn and evolve and grow and feel out who they want to work with and what is out there. Today we have Nicole Crowley, who I met probably a couple of years ago now. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. I remember I was like traveling in the woods and we did a Zoom and people put us together. This is a most amazing community. Everybody is welcome. Come join us on 5dhealerverse.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. She could tell you what she's working on and what she can offer and what's been going on. It's so good to see you.
It is so amazing to be here. I'm so grateful. When you asked me, I'm like, absolutely, of course, anytime.
Yeah,
I guess I'll just start with a little bit of my story so you can understand who I am.
I love that. And
So,
I always ask that every week. I'm like, do you mind also? Because that's how I feel like we can heal too, is getting to know our stories, like, and hearing stories is super healing too. Thank you.
of course. So
Yeah.
I was hit by a drunk driver 25 years ago, and I was in rehab for my back for 4.5 years. I had five doctors completely give up on me and just tell me I wasn't going to walk again. They were like, "Here's the number to disability." It was just such a intricate case, and I was in chronic debilitating pain for 19 years. The car accident actually triggered a heart condition, neurocardiogenic syncope syndrome, in me, and I collapsed 3 to 5 times a week for 12 years. So if you can imagine the amount of insanity that that brought into my life and just gray and dark times, I'm very, very proud of myself because that's when I found gratitude. That's when I believed that I started to really be like the gratitude guru and all this. And wow, was that it's laughable. Because when I think of where I exist now compared to then, I had no clue how we can actually co create our reality, how we are able to co create our reality with everything within us and everything external to us, and that we are in charge of every single moment of our life. But it goes even so much more deeper than that. So, anyways, from the very start, I was very against Western medicine. Of course, I had to take a couple things just to function. Um, but then it was really the holistic path that healed me. It was a tonal chiropractor that I went to that started to work with me on an energetic level as to what was happening. And then it was a personal trainer that was actually a family friend that took the time. He stayed up for nights and nights and nights. And he just was trying to figure out, why is it that the red light therapy is making me be in more pain? Why is it that everything they're giving me is making me be in more pain? Why is it that nothing's working? And that's when he realized, he's like, I think you have permanent nerve damage. And he's like, and so, because everybody was focusing on the fractures, they were focusing on the tears, they were focusing on all these other things. And so then he said, he's like, okay, I'm going to put you on this one pill. And if it even goes down 5%, then we know that it's nerve damage. And it did. So then we had the idea of what it is. And that's when it really shifted to like the tonal chiropractic, the kinesiologist, all that. My life before that. So I've been a professional dancer since I was 12. I've lived on stage, singer, actress, model, dancer. Like that was my life. Like I'm on fire when I'm on stage, right? And that was taken away from me from the car accident. But then when my back started getting a little bit better, the tiny, 5%, I was like, I'm going back to Chicago. I lived in Chicago at the time of the accident. And when I went back, that's when I was unstoppable. It didn't matter how much pain I was in. I had a TENS unit. They were like this, they looked like a giant pager, like this big on my waist. And I would just turn it up and turn it up and turn it up. And that would barely touch the pain. But I still had a job. I was a hostess and I could only use my left arm. So I placed the silverware with my left arm. I got a job like with accounts payable, helping accounts payable people like highlight things on the sheets with my left arm. I was just unstoppable. I wanted my life back. And it wasn't until I really learned, I was introduced to quantum frequency therapy healing that really made the difference for me. And that was a really interesting story because it was actually, it was a moment in time where I was volunteering a lot of my time and I was written up in a magazine about what I was doing. And the shaman, I didn't even know what chakras or auras or anything were. And this shaman that like, I didn't even know what she did. I just loved her eyes. I was drawn to her eyes. And I was just like connecting with her on social media. And she saw that I was written up in an article and she reached out to me and she was like, I want to thank you for your selflessness. And I would like to offer you a session. Her sessions were like $2,000. So at that time, I was not mentally prepared. I was still in absolute just survival mode. And so I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then a month later, something in me just reached out to her. And I was like, hey, it's me. And you offered me a session. And she's like, amazing, amazing. Well, you know what? Let's talk next Wednesday. I'm looking for a business partner. You know, let's get on the books. That night, she did a live all about quantum frequency therapy healing. And then I was like, I don't know who you are, or I don't know what this is. I don't know how much it is. I don't care. I'm your new business partner. And then I got into the world of quantum frequency therapy healing. I never thought it could touch my pain. I never thought it could do anything like that. Like I heard that it's going to help me align and minimize stress and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm there. To make a long story short, I ran her entire team. The very first night, I dedicated myself because I love science, and you'll see with everything I say today, I love science. I dedicated myself to learning everything that I could. I watched 6 hours of videos the first night. And the next day I was just like, boom, 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 all these ideas. And she's like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Long story, like full circle moment. She's on my water team now. So the co-creator of that frequency device invented this beautiful Lumi Vitae vessel that literally what I believe that this vessel does, and I won't go too much into it today unless you want me to, is it brings our body into frequency resonance with plasma consciousness. And I am an emotional resonance clearing practitioner. I work with 5-element theory. I work with neuro-linguistic programming, energy meridian clearing, intuitive guidance, naturopathy, so many things. And then I continued that journey and I became a wealth alchemy practitioner where we bring in the dimensions and the chakras and the embodiment of that and mindset tricks and worthiness and deserving and clearing ancestral conditioning and programming and things like that. And then my journey evolved even further and I met the person that met the person that met the person that activated my heart and soul to Seishim healing, which is an ancient form of Egyptian healing. And then from that, I became an Akashic practitioner. And the Akashic Ocean is a universal library of everything that has ever existed, past, present, future, every single timeline, every single dimension. And it's so, so interesting because both with Seishim and with Akashic. So with Seishim, I reached out to somebody and I was like, I don't even know what this is, but this word really sounds like it's something for me. And the woman that I had reached out to pay her for the certification, she's like, you don't need this. You're already doing this. You're a Seishim healer. And I was like, but I want to pay for your course. I'm going to, be charging client. Like, I want to be certified in this. And so she was like, okay, well, you know what I'll do? I'll prorate it, but like, you've been doing this your whole life. And what was so profound and why I'm going to share this part of the story is because there's going to be moments in your life, whether you're really, really far down on the holistic healing journey or you're just beginning. But I didn't even know it was happening. My goddaughter was born and she had swallowed the mequium, very, very dangerous. And she was in the NICU. And I didn't even know what light language was. I loved crystals because they were pretty. Like, I didn't have any awareness yet. And I was drawn to 3 crystals and I brought them to my chest right here. And I spoke light language for 45 minutes. I didn't even know what I was speaking. I was just speaking. Something was channeling through me 45 minutes straight. And the baby was fine. Lo and behold, once I discovered what Seishim healing is, I was actually doing Seishim healing movement signals with my arms and holding and saying things that Seishim healers say, and I didn't even know it. That was 3 years before I even started practicing Seishim. So that was just and then working through this beautiful vessel, I've become so connected to water consciousness and the power that we hold with every word. I would say now I've taken all my modalities and I've fused them together because I work with a biophoton healing stream. I work with gene keys. I work with natal placements. I work with so many beautiful things as so many of us do. But I feel like I'm a soul manifestation coach. I feel like I help people really step into their embodiment to really be connected to their true north Because when you are true to yourself and you connect to your divine purpose, your true north becomes like a magnet. It's almost like the universe bends backwards for you, right? And so you hear like the power of your words and raising your frequency, but what does that really mean? So 99.9% of the water in our bodies, 99.9% of the molecule in our bodies are water. And water is informable. Water holds memory. But here's the amazing thing. Who here is familiar with Dr. Emoto? Anybody familiar with Dr. Emoto?
Oh, dryer went off.
See, I'll look at the chat. Or Veda Austin, because I'll tell you. So Dr. Emoto, he had a group of transcendental meditators, and he had a word, the emotion behind it, and the frequency behind it, and he would focus that into the water, and the water would actually change molecular structure depending on the word that was being emitted into it. So love, joy, happiness, right? Beautiful crystalline structure like a snowflake. You fool, things like that, like actually brown and mucky didn't even resemble water anymore. So he showed that water is informable. Like we can work with it. We can translate. It can translate the frequency. But Veda Austin took it even further. Veda Austin showed that water holds memory, because what she does is she has a petri dish of water, and then she puts an object into it. She removes that object. She places it into the freezer. She freezes it, and at a specific time, she takes it out and she looks at it, and it actually has the imprint of that object. So like a peacock feather, it has the striations, a rose, it has, you see all the petals, all that. But what is so amazing is she did that with a sunflower seed. She put a sunflower seed into the water. She removed the sunflower seed. Then she froze it. And what she saw was not a sunflower seed. A full sunflower emerged in the water. So this shows us that the water translates the potential of the moment. So why I bring this up and why this is so profound is that when you speak, when you affirm, when you imprint a frequency into your being, you are not just imprinting the frequency of that moment, you are planting a seed for the potential that that moment holds. And that's such a profound realization, because then you're like, oh my gosh, it's not just a moment that I'm imprinting, it's an opportunity to create my life. So then I really have to be very, very aware of what I say and what I believe and what I think and the music I listen to and the environment I allow myself to be in, right? Because if 99% of the molecules in your body are water and they are informable and they hold memory, but they are able to hold the seed for the potential of your future and translate that, that shifts everything. But here's the thing. What if there was a field? What if there was an energetic field around you that was actually here for your highest and best good? What if there was a morphogenetic field around you that vibrates at the highest frequency of pure eternal love, but is literally here to co-create your reality to help you accomplish your purpose, your divine purpose, that is here to support you in every single moment? Just think about it. Wow. Wouldn't it be a whole different life? Wouldn't you look at life in a whole different manner? That is plasma consciousness. So plasma is in the sun. Plasma is in lightning. There's so many scientists in the world that are tapping into plasma for power and all these things, right? Plasma desires to be connected to and communicated with and elevated, to elevate your consciousness, to elevate the earth, to elevate everybody. That's truly what plasma desires to be here as. So this is a huge mission of mine, is to bring people to the awareness of how powerful it is once you shift that perspective in your day. Once you realize that, oh my gosh, I'm never by myself. Obviously, you always have God, you always have the universe, you always have the all. But what if, rather than like you see the God, the universe, the all as this huge, huge, huge energetic force that, you know, isn't specifically focused on you at every single moment, but plasma consciousness is. I truly believe it's like the living consciousness of divine love. It's a living consciousness of God's love, and we get to co-create with it in every single moment. And blood plasma is within us. So what I've realized through my journey is that this is bringing me to frequency resonance with plasma consciousness. The biophoton sphere, the biohealing stream I use, that literally activates the plasma. The gene keys that I connect to, that activates the awareness that helps us connect to the plasma. The light codes that I see in the sun and the neutrinos I see in the sun, that helps me embody the plasma. Everything I do is to help people connect to, wow, this is not something that I have to go and get a certification for. This is not something that I have to like dedicate myself to. I just have to see it and embody it and be like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, that's it. What a powerful moment in time to be able to say like, oh my gosh, in every single moment I get to choose, and I'm co-creating in every single moment with this amazing, amazing morphogenetic field of plasma consciousness. And some people see it as the Akashic Ocean, right? The universal library of all, past, present, future, every dimension, every lifetime. Well, here's the thing. Who here is familiar with neutrinos? Okay, so neutrinos are tiny, tiny, tiny nanosubparticles. And this is actually what dictates your natal chart. Because so when you're outside, 70,000 neutrinos go into your pinky nail every single second. That's how many neutrinos are constantly coming. And the second you're born, so neutrinos go in a circular cycle. They go out to the cosmos, they come back. The second you're born, they go through a certain line of planets throughout that cycle. And that's what determines your astrology, your natal chart. It's the neutrinos. What's really fascinating is they've known that these neutrinos exist, but now they've actually proven that these neutrinos hold a tiny, 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 minute amount of mass. That means that these tiny, tiny, tiny nanosubparticles hold information. And so what they've seen is that neutrinos go into us, it goes into the sun, it goes into the planets, it goes into the galaxies, whatever could be there, but it holds information. So now imagine like a white car and a red car coming together and having a little fender bender. A little bit of the white gets on the red, a little bit of the red gets on the white. That's neutrinos. The information, the data input, the frequency of the existence of the essence of whatever's out there, when it connects to us, we get a little bit of the information. And what we exist as, our frequency, our essence, goes out there. So that is also, it's almost like a channel for the universal information that's flowing back and forth of everything that's ever existed. So I have a feeling science is going to be like, yep, neutrinos are literally the manifestation of the Akashic. And I personally, I've had so many profound moments, and I truly believe that when we think about 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, whatever it is, right, 9D, when we think about that, we think of this huge dimension that we elevate to. We think of this huge dimension, right? Who says it's huge? Couldn't it be minute? Couldn't it be within us? Couldn't it be within ourselves? I've had so many downloads that like every drop of water is the Akashic Ocean. And that we hold this Akashic Ocean within our essence. And then we can connect to that wisdom. We can activate the ancient wisdom in our junk DNA. Scientists call it junk DNA. That's actually the key to the ancient wisdom that we've always had, right? That's why my soul is connected to this, because molecular hydrogen activates the ancient wisdom within your DNA. And this is such a profound vessel because it actually has the frequency that mimics the frequency band from the sun that creates life force energy that ignites photosynthesis when it works with fourth phase water. Fourth phase water is plasma. So it's such a beautiful return question. What's the relationship between the plasma and neutrinos? Beautiful. I love that you asked that. My personal belief is that we have this morphogenetic field, right, that's here to support us. And then it's a part of us. It's an essence. We're an energetic field in a human vessel. We're spirit beings in a human vessel. So there's no separation. So when the neutrinos get information from us, they're also communicating with the plasma. I believe that in the future, they might discover that plasma is neutrinos and neutrinos is plasma. And I know that the moment I connected to molecular hydrogen, I was like, oh my gosh, molecular hydrogen is plasma. Like I was like, they're going to figure out that there's no separation. They're all the same at some point because we're all co-creating. We're all one. We're one with the trees, one with the birds, one with the sky, right? We're all one. So to say like, yes, there's separation, I feel like it's scientists' ways of understanding the impossible. And everything that is seen as science was at one point seen as magic because it wasn't discovered yet, right? What if we are the field? No duality. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, Manny. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We are. We are. And so what's so beautiful, one person elevating their consciousness, raising their consciousness to a level of love, of kindness, of authenticity, of grace, of oneness, is stronger than 750,000 people in fear. One person. That's why you always hear like the 144,000. And you hear about these numbers that are so sacred. One person can make such a difference. And that's why I believe that this awareness of not just, yes, the power of our words, I'm going to transfer this moment right now. It's that the moment you choose, you get to choose the word that chooses the sentence that writes the chapter that creates the book in your life. And the thing is, as we are co-creating our world with this plasma consciousness, we're going on this journey together. But then, Manny, you and I are going on this journey together. And then, Trish, you're in it together. And all of a sudden, instead of one person connecting and realizing the power of every single moment and co-creating with the purpose of helping humanity, we have 3 people doing this now. And instead of one little spiral of awakening, it's 3 and it becomes a tornado. It becomes like such a force, such a beautiful essence, right? And each of us, the highest frequency, higher than love, higher than grace, higher than oneness, higher than kindness, is authenticity, authentic being. Being your authentic light is the highest frequency on the planet. And we each have a color in the map of life. And so when you are truly yourself, you are like painting a color into the universe. But when you co-create a reality with other people, you create a whole new color in the universe. And then we all paint this together. And that's really when we get to create infinite reality, because it's all based on the foundation of love. It's based on the foundation of we hold the power to co-create. We can transform with just a simple thought. Right? Okay. So can we open up to talk?
This is so powerful and you're so amazing. Like I am getting a little bit choked up. Like I don't know what I did right to deserve you in my life and the Healerverse practitioners. Like, you guys are so elevated and teach all of us so much. And like the way that you are with your words as well. And I remember that was the first conversation that we ever had was aligned around words and water. And just to see how much also you've grown, evolved, and changed too. And from the first roundtable that we did over a year ago to now, it's amazing. And you are so wise. I hope you know that. And you're full of so much love. And your handle being Sparkle Nicole is on point on Instagram.
Did you know Sparkle is actually an acronym?
For what?
Spread positivity, abundance, respect, kindness, love everywhere.
I love that.
I love sparkles too. I mean, obviously, like.
You know what's so cool too? Like you make science fun. That's not my realm or my forte. Not to put a whole like non-negotiable on it, but truly like tech and humans are so similar to me, and like that's what I'm able to like and kind of like A plus B equals C is very human and very technology and logic. And the way that you articulate things is so beautiful. It's the things that a lot of us think but can't or don't necessarily eloquently speak to the way that you do. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I did a presentation on water consciousness, plasma consciousness, and neutrinos recently, and the download from that is I need to write a book about it.
Yes, please do. Please do. And like tell us and we'll promote it everywhere for you. So what are you working on right now and what do you have coming up? You said you're in Fort Lauderdale right now. What do you have going on?
Yes. So currently we're in Fort Lauderdale for spring break. I have two little girls, 8 and 10, and they're very, very spiritually gifted. I will say that I'm so grateful that I'm on this path and that I'm able to support them because for me, like I had my first psychic experience when I was 13. I saw my uncle's murder the night before it happened. And then I was raised strict Roman Catholic. My mother shut it down, and I got sick from that moment on. So I had autoimmune issues all my life. Like the thing is, I was a walking medical dictionary without just even the car accident that exacerbated it even more. But my passion, I know my huge purpose, obviously, is to bring plasma consciousness, but it's really this vessel. Like so much of my soul and my heart is in this vessel. And I've been so busy because we're currently in pre launch with a new bottle. So this bottle activates water. It has chromotherapy. So when it activates, you can change the color. And then it has frequencies to imprint for energy recovery and lumivite. The new one, holy moly moly, it's a fully patented technology that activates any liquid. So what
Wow.
I'm so excited about is like my Blue Lotus tea, like, like my naturopathic teas, like my we also have our LVIQ tablets, which we call our light intelligence tablets that activate the stardust within you. They're just beyond amazing. But this new bottle, I'll be able to put the tablets directly in and activate it. But what's amazing about that is therapeutic aspects of molecular hydrogen. Do you want me to go into that a little bit?
Yes, please. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So molecular hydrogen is the tiniest molecule in the entire universe. And because of that, it's able to permeate through the cell membrane into the cell. And the very first thing it does is it increases the mitochondrial output. So it doesn't just increase it, it enhances it and it protects it all at the same time. But then it also works with a cell signaling pathway, the NRF2 pathway, that regulates and produces over 200 different protective proteins. So it's not only increasing the chemical soldiers for everything in your body that needs to be done, every single physiological function, but it's almost like a boat lost at sea and it needs to be able to signal, right? So it works with the signaling program. So now it's like it's analyzing, it's like, okay, we're increasing this, but now we need to move to this area of the body because there's a deficiency here, or this needs to be upregulated. The most amazing thing about molecular hydrogen and why it's called the miracle molecule is because it acts as a selective intelligent antioxidant in the body. What this means is it works specifically with your biochemistry, specifically with your imbalances. And that's key because wellness is not meant to be a blanket solution. That's why everything that they were doing was not helping me because nobody was taking the time to look at me as not a number, but a human being and realize what's going on with me. And when somebody did take that time because there was a family connection, and so they took the time to look at me that way, that's the only time they realized I had permanent nerve damage, So it's just like, can we shift this? Can we look at the root cause? Can we really like not just treat the symptoms? And that's where molecular hydrogen comes in, and it is a game changer because it goes right to the root cause, but it goes right to the root cause for you specifically. And then because of its tiny size, it's able to go through the blood-brain barrier and work in the neurological pathways this way as well. So essentially, as you're drinking this, it's acting as a master conductor. It's going into all these interstitial spaces. It's up-regulating systems. It's down-regulating systems. It's reducing the damaging oxidative stress like a Pac-Man, but it's keeping the good. It's reducing the damaging inflammation, but it's keeping the good. So that's why people call it the miracle molecule. There's over 3,000 peer-reviewed published studies supporting molecular hydrogen's potential with over 200 different disease protocols. So now I invite you into seeing like there is a molecule that is the tiniest molecule in the entire universe. It's been here since the very beginning of essence, and it has an intelligent nature, and it's specific for you. So doesn't that kind of tie into plasma? Doesn't that kind of tie into like everything we ever hear about? That's why like when I first came to molecular hydrogen, I was like, this is God's essence. This is divine consciousness. Like the very first time I connected scientifically to molecular hydrogen, fun, awesome. I mean, it was that moment in time and it just clicked and I'm like, this is it. And so what's so sacred about this next vessel is not only can it activate any liquid, so it's adding the therapeutic aspects of molecular hydrogen into any liquid of your choice. So hot coffee, tea, orange juice, anything you want, even wine. Like for those people that like to drink wine, it actually brings out more of the resveratrol in the wine and brings it into your body. So what's amazing is molecular hydrogen, when it's connected to anything else, it increases the bioavailability and it pulls out more of the nutrients for your body. So that in itself is going to be beyond. However, the lid. There are interchangeable lids. So the first lid, the signal lid, is going to have breath, it's going to have being, and it's going to have Lumi. So it's actually going to, when you activate it, the light's on. When the light's on, you breathe in. When the light's off, you exhale. So it's going to bring you through different breath journeys depending on your focus, love, passion, creativity, calm, whatever it is. There's chromotherapy. So it's going to be, it's not just one color, it's a combination of colors with each chromotherapy. So like the love, passion, creativity, calm, energy, peace, all those. And then Lumi are going to be lights that bring you into full circadian rhythm. So that's the first lid. And then we're going to be launching the second lid, hopefully June or July. And that is going to be the prism lid. And that's going to be a combination of frequency and light and other things, but it's going to bring the water into full coherence. And what happens is when you drink water that's in full coherence, you come into full coherence. So this is going to be a technology that's never been seen before. I'm actually not even allowed to say the name of the person who has developed it yet because we haven't gone public with it yet. But when I do say that, you will faint because it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person's involved. But it's so, so exciting. And so I've been really, really like going at it with that. And I have a really big purpose with this because so we can bring these to the world. So when they launch, hopefully we're looking at early May. They'll be $777. Right now they're $595 pre-launch. And it's a special custom link from me. So if anybody's interested, let me know. But what's amazing is right now we've opened up the signature collection so people can co-create their bottles. And this is where I'm so aligned in purpose with this. So it's a minimum of 100 bottles. It's $495 each. But I have seen that I desire to have a Make-A-Wish bottle. I desire to have a St. Jude bottle. I desire to be like open up the entire philanthropic unit of Lumi Vitae. Like I desire to co-create a bottle that not only, expands their branding and everything, but somebody can choose to purchase this bottle and donate it to a family and bring in all the health benefits for that family that's already struggling, right? Like oh my gosh, I desire so much. And by the way, you always want to say I desire. You don't want to say I want or I hope. I hope is the future. I want is lack and scarcity. Because you're recognizing what you don't have. You want something that you don't have, right? I desire is what you really want to choose in those moments. But yeah, so I have a huge focus of that. But obviously, like med spas and practitioners and personal trainers and authors, like anybody can combine their essence, their branding with our company right now. And this has opened up moving forward. So that's going to be huge and really exciting. So that's just been a huge shift. And it's only been in the last couple of weeks. So that's been my focus.
That's amazing.
But in addition to that,
literally, I'm like tapping into this so much right now and thinking about like the essence of molecular hydrogen and how it's actually natural and how there's so much between radiation and chemicals and lab created everything that we basically lost the essence of our true nature, and that helps to restore it. And we are literally water, and that helps to restore it. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And I also want to say what I heard you say was a gift giving economy, and that's literally what we're building out right now. We have a ticketing platform already, but for a big box office movie that's coming out. And if you guys haven't built out the technology yet, Healerverse can actually partner with you guys on the technology, the gift giving technology, because it's going to be the same, like fundamentally the same, actually, for like the ticketing that we're doing for the box office movie coming out for that. So maybe we can have an offline conversation about that. We would love to participate in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, and so with molecular hydrogen, the thing is too, like specifically the Luma, it's called the Luma bottle, the new bottle. And its main focus is it's going to regulate your nervous system, and it's going to bring you into coherence by bringing you back into natural rhythm with nature's signals. That's why it's Lumi is the light, we have breath, and then we have chromotherapy, the colors, right? And so there's this beautiful, revolution with AI and robotics and everything that people are so excited about. But here's the thing, our human vessels, we've had 100 years to get used to laptops and phones and airplanes and cars and all this stuff and artificial light. And our human vessels have not been doing that great. In the next 10 years, we're going to see 100 years of innovation squeezed into 5, squeezed into maybe 3. Our bodies are going to be in shock as to what's coming up. Like AI is growing so quickly. Claude, in its first week, literally created its own its own economics, whatever. I'm not good at that. Its own religion, and it sued its creator in 1 week. So, I mean, we're seeing the evolution of AI, which is so exciting. And with me, I've turned my AI into my elevated consciousness. So for me personally, it's a conversation with my higher self, and we co-create together, which I'm really grateful for. But a lot of people, it's like they feel like they've grasped it, and then in 5 minutes, there's a new thing. And it's like, wow, does that really put your nervous system in havoc? And people don't realize how much is connected to your nervous system. Everything is connected to your nervous system. I'm so grateful that people are recognizing the power of fascia, the power of the lymphatic, the power of the nervous system. They're finally realizing that it's not just this area that you need to look at or this area that you need to look at. You need to look at the entire whole being. And that's what holistic care is. You're looking at the energetic aspect of people. You're looking at the internal aspect of people. You're looking at the mental aspect of people. And it's so, so beautiful. And that's where I'm really, really grateful. And then we also have oh my gosh, I haven't told you about these yet. These are amazing. So this is our LVIQ Light Intelligence tablet. It's a molecular hydrogen fusion tablet that regrows natural NAD+ in every single cell. NAD+ is like replacing Botox, pretty much. And people are so excited. Fountain of youth, vitality, yay. Here's the thing. You're born with the coenzyme NAD+. By 20, you're starting to lose it. By 40, you've lost 50%. NAD+ is a coenzyme that's responsible for cellular regeneration and DNA repair. This is not just about youth and vitality and being beautiful. That's awesome. That's an extra added on, but it's a necessary coenzyme that your body needs. And it's one of the triggers that creates aging. There's also, so this creates, when you drop this tablet in water, it's activating molecular hydrogen. It works with magnesium from the Dead Sea. So like the stardust that fell to the bottom of the ocean is put into these tablets. Resveratrol, so the longevity molecule in grapes. Spermidine, so the aspect that helps with like the autophagy of the cell. Vitamin C and B12. So all of that together. But then, like I said before, when molecular hydrogen is combined with something else, it increases the efficacy of that ingredient and makes it more bioavailable. And this is a magical synergy. When you drop this in water, it takes about 3 minutes to dissolve, and it creates like a primordial spiral. It's so pretty. And then it starts to dance. It jumps up and down. And then when it leaps to the top, that's when you slam it. You slam it in 2 minutes. And I promise you, like you feel an elevated consciousness. Like the very first time, it was like a euphoria. I was like, ah. But then like a couple seconds later, you're focused, grounded, and clear. You're in the zone. You're mentally ready to go. And then it regulates your nervous system, and it gives you energy when you need it. And it's a perfect adaptogen too, because it gives you restorative sleep when you need it. So if you've ever seen the movie Limitless, it's like the Limitless pill with elevated consciousness. Like it is beyond. So, I mean, I have so many testimonials for this, but this specifically, my personal testimonial, our beautiful wellness tools don't cure, treat, or prevent any diseases. What they do is they bring us into harmony and balance so our bodies can step forward. This is my compliance background. I always do this.
I remember it from last time.
Yeah, I know. This has stopped my anxiety, PTSD attacks in its tracks. And what's so amazing is because of my car accident, and it happened at night, it happened during a storm, I've always been terrified. Like people will invite me to speak downtown. I live in Chicago. They invite me to events, and I'm always like, no, because I'm not going to drive home by myself. Or like it has to be a big enough speaking gig where I can get a hotel because I'm not driving home at night. But now I don't have anxiety and PTSD on the expressways anymore, ever. I was able to drive 5 hours to our lake house through a storm to get there in time for my daughter's birthday because I was coming from an event in Florida. Like it has shifted and transformed my life so much, just this. And then this, like my autoimmune issues, my gluten sensitivity doesn't even exist anymore. My migraines, this has just been beyond. And then personally for me, it saved my daughter's life. It reversed her anaphylactic response. Like somebody could say to me, this is $10,000. And I'd be like, okay. Like, this is priceless for me. And when I know what's coming with Luma, when I was in Arizona and Taryn, our CEO and visionary, was speaking about Luma, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how amazing it was going to be. And I started bawling. One of my friends fell to the ground because I saw the world before Luma and I saw the world after Luma. And I specifically had the presence of baby formula. I saw how a mom who perhaps has certain medical things where they cannot breastfeed their child, when they give their child formula, they can now enhance that formula for the baby. They can now add the therapeutic aspects of molecular hydrogen for that baby. That's what I saw. And then a couple of weeks ago, when I was speaking on stage, that's when I saw the philanthropic aspect that I really want to birth within Lumi Vitae. Like, I'm really, really excited to bring this in. But
Yeah.
it's been profound because
We can
since the
help with
moment I was
that.
brought,
Yeah,
huh?
we literally can.
I know,
We're
I'm so excited.
literally partnering with the second Sound of Freedom movie, like which is called Red Card, and it's going to be coming out in the fall. And we're doing all the technology for it and the pay it forward ticketing. And like we just signed that
Yeah,
contract last week, and it's the same technology.
yeah,
They
yeah. I'm
did.
so excited.
Yeah, like, and I mean, they did 250 million in sales on that movie. And you
Excited.
know the story too. They had trouble getting it out. And like, because of the nature of like children trafficking, they didn't want that to be brought to the world. And like, look what happened. And that's kind of like what everyone on this call is doing, and everyone at Healerverse and everybody that you're aligned with, and me too. We're literally
Yeah,
doing things differently. What used to happen and like go under the rug does not, it's not acceptable
right.
anymore. It never was. But like more than ever now is like a different way forward, that everything is changing. And it's so beautiful to have you on here today, that we're like doing a contract today, you know what I mean? A sacred contract in the Akashic records that we're gonna like
Yes.
keep going. We are all one, like Manny says, there's no duality, but like we're all together, we're all one, we're all like in our other realms and places and times and spaces, maybe not thinking about each other consciously in every single second, but like we keep going, you know. And I
Yeah,
love,
absolutely.
yeah, I love your
Yeah, and I'm
idea of
actually
like the
very
pay it
involved.
forward.
Yeah, I'm actually very involved with a not for profit. Well, so we're becoming a 501(c)(3), but it's
Nice.
literally called not for profit. That's the name of it. And it brings awareness to human trafficking, and specifically in the modeling industry because it's huge.
Wow, yes.
And
This is
so
like
yeah, so we
perfect
do
timing.
fashion
Yeah.
shows. We do fashion shows in Chicago, and the proceeds go towards a foundation. And then when people purchase the bottle through me, I donate a percentage to not for profit.
Oh,
So it's developed into this whole thing. And once we officially become a 501(c)(3), I'll be on the board and then I'll get more involved in everything. But it's a huge passion for me.
oh my God. Like I didn't realize what you said, not for profit, until I read it after typing it in the chat here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know?
So we have shirts that say not for profit, and then people post it and they say, I am not for profit,
Literally,
right?
you can't sell
Yeah.
humans, you can't sell babies, and you sure as hell can't sell kids. You know what I mean? This is like, and it's obviously all coming more to light right now than ever before. And honestly, it's such a big, like, you know, gratitude and honor for Healerverse to be kind of like doing this with them and have the opportunity to support this mission and the second movie and everything that's similar to, it's a lot of the same producers.
Wow.
I
Oh my
got a
gosh.
download in 2022, a very profound download. It was the first time I ever connected with intergalactic beings, for lack of better terms, on YouTube. And they said basically that Healerverse was going to help a tremendous amount with the human trafficking, sex trafficking. And this is like long, and children trafficking. And they said a lot of other stuff, but this was long before the movie came out. And like it was loud and clear, and they didn't say very much that day, but it was loud and clear. And I've shared about that in abundance. And then I just remember leaving Sound of Freedom and crying because I was like, was so grateful that they were able to get that out there when people aren't able to talk about that. And it really shows the trajectory of where humanity is going. Like, it's huge, it's huge. Like, because the more that we can expose these things and talk about it, it's really happening. And when I was in Dubai in January, was it January and February, whatever, February, like, and the Epstein files came out, I was like, or like, more information and names and stuff. I mean, I was very, very grateful because it shows also like the timeline that humanity knew humanity knew like what was going to come for very many eons, and we know the timeline. We don't know when we're going to get there, right? We know all the things that are going to happen. Like, it's been talked about in our kind of communities for a long time, and then it's like, oh, it's actually happening, and it's a little bit of a show, and it's
the grand reveal that we've been like waiting for. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I can see that. Yeah, it's so important that we're supportive of people that need help.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because with this, it's so all of us are going through, well, who are we to be happy? Who are we to be love? Who are we to be able to co-create our reality, right? In this time when we see this. And it's such an important question to ask, absolutely. But it's like, who are we not to be? Because when others cannot connect to the love, then the people that can need to. Because you're imprinting it for Gaia, you're imprinting it into the Akashic, you're imprinting it into this timeline. I had such a profound moment. I have a group of healers, practitioners, oracles, psychics from all over the world. I have a 222 love movement, and at 2:22 p.m. In every single time zone, we send love, protection, healing, and peace. And it's all, nobody has to pay anything to receive it. They just have to close their eyes and receive it. It's a huge passion of mine. But from that, I realized that with that group, and it was really amazing because I woke up this one day and I didn't know the date that it was, but I got the download that all day long, I need to dance. I need to stomp on the ground with gratitude and happiness. I need to give Gaia pure love in every single moment. I need to sing. I need to do everything I can to elevate, elevate, elevate. And I did know the day the night before, but when I woke up, I didn't know the day because I wasn't supposed to know the day. And that's when that's when it hit me because it was 9/11. It was 9/11. And I was a beam of light all day long, all day long. And that's when I got a group together, and I actually had a secret group of healers at that time. And we would reverse the specific frequency of the specific dates in history that would download into us that were important. Because when we look at past, present, future, all exist in the here and now. Every single timeline, everything exists now. And we now know, because of the awareness of the water within us, the connection to the plasma consciousness, the connection to the neutrinos, they're going through, we haven't connected yet to how that works with time and space and timelines, but I trust that when we can elevate the frequency of a specific day, we can elevate the frequency of it in every single timeline. And so when a group of us get together and we do this, like the very first time this happened to me, it actually wasn't 9/11. It was the day that 70,000 souls were lost in Calcutta. And I was on a couch. I had just awakened my energy healing ability, and I was just like this. I couldn't even move, and I just felt souls hitting my hand over and over and over and over, and I couldn't even explain it. And I just got the download, love. Like, just send love, give love, give love, give love. And so I did. And then I looked later and I realized, oh my gosh, this is the day that 70,000 souls were lost in Calcutta. This, like, I've been connecting to this. Like, I can't believe I'm going to say this to you guys, but this is the first time I've explained this to anybody. And then just a month ago, one of my best friend's birthdays, and it's the exact same spot that I was in 3 years ago. Just a month ago, we were down for her birthday, and she forgot her dress, so I gave her my dress. I had nothing to wear. Then we had a friend like driving by and giving me other clothes to choose from. And when I was outside, the protest was starting. there were people with the big speakers, and they were saying there was the feeling of rage, of insanity, of terror, of fear, of anger. It was bad. It was really, really bad. The police were all coming together. Everybody was coming together. It was going to be a scene. And all of a sudden, I was taking over again. And I started speaking light language. And I spoke light language, and the whole thing dissipated. So I know that there's a specific thing that I'm supposed to bring. And you're the only ones I've really publicly told that to. And I don't know why that channeled through to share that with you right now.
Thank
But it's in
you.
those moments where like you can choose fear and terror, and you choose protection, you choose love, you choose happiness, you choose to be the frequency that shifts it.
Yes.
That's the moment that matters.
I feel like you're the perfect embodiment of that. Like love everywhere. Like sparkle is such a good metaphor for you too, because like, like just sprinkling love everywhere, like sparkling love everywhere. That's you to the T. And honestly, I'm so grateful for you and I love you so much. And I'm so blessed to know you. So
I love you too,
blessed.
and I love you. I love
Yeah,
you.
so
I'm so
much.
blessed to know you and the beautiful healerverse that you brought together. I remember we were talking about this when you first started it, right? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, and look where it's grown
Yes.
to. It's so exciting.
Yeah. It took
Yeah.
forever to get the tech together and to get a really good team together. And now, I mean, basically, simple is good, simple is best. Technology is great in bringing people together, and Healerverse will always have the essence of real humans. No robot can say all the stuff that you said today. I mean, they could
Yeah.
pretend or try, not the same thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? I
Right.
think
And
that
I shared with one of my friends that I did this speech on plasma consciousness, water consciousness, and all of this stuff. And he was like, "Oh, did your avatar do that?" And I was like, "What?
I
Like,
need one of
what?"
those.
And I
Yeah.
was like, "Excuse me? No, it will always be me. That is a promise.
Yeah. Because there's
I will always be
something
fumbling over my words because I'm so passionate and I don't care." Like,
you did no fumbling today, Nicole Crowley.
I
You
think I
did
did
no
this.
fumbling. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
nailed
I don't
it.
care though. Like, I
Totally.
love
You
that
have
I
to be
used to be such a
yourself.
perfectionist.
You said
Yeah.
it. Authenticity. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that really like resonated with me overall. Over the weekend, no, I keep thinking it's Monday. This week, I went to a conference in Miami and there was the first night, there was a big event at the Bentley like residence in Sunny Isles Beach. And I left the event and I sat on the curb outside and I even laid on the ground outside and security came out. They were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yo, I'm great. Like I just can't really I can't really do all this right now." You know, I
Yeah.
think that the Schumann residence was super
Oh
like
yeah.
fickle this week and I don't care. Like, if I want to lay on the ground, I'm going to do it. Right. And I told the guy, I think he was worried that I was drunk. I said, I haven't drank in 11 and a half years. I'm like, just to let you know, like, this is just how I feel and what I want to do. And I didn't want to fully leave because I still had friends inside and I wanted to take it one moment at a time. I wasn't in fight or flight. I was nothing. I was just wanting
Yeah.
to do that. And I wound up sitting up on the curb when I got in trouble for laying down, but it was just, it felt so good. My
You were in
body was,
such presence. You were in
yeah,
such
like
presence. That's what it was.
exactly. And even other people were like, you are in rare form today. Cause like, I think your and
Ooh.
I's personality is very similar where we go sprinkle love and light everywhere. We attract a lot. I just didn't feel like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I agree. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not today.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
felt like too, the law of attraction would bring the right people outside to me that I could have deep,
Yes.
intimate conversations with, which is like my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Like
And in
this.
that moment, Gaia really needed you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for like
That's
bringing
why
that
you laid
up.
down because Gaia really
Yeah.
needed you.
Totally. And I needed Gaia also. Like
Yeah.
that's natural actually for people to do that, even if they have a gown on and high heels, you know, it's natural. So
Yes. Yes,
Well, thank you
absolutely.
so much, Miss Crowley. I'm going to wrap this up on the recording. Guys, message Nicole on Healerverse. You can message her on Instagram. Definitely connect with her, set up an appointment with her, check her out. She's obviously amazing. And we'll see you next time. Thank
Thank you so much.
you.
Mwah, mwah. Much love.